Hi, I've put together a series of 14 or 15 videos based on the 2026 ILMEA Senior Division Jazz Etude audition material. It's a collection of videos of the passages and the piece at various tempos and various sections. It's typically something I do for my private students as a way of giving them practice material, ways to work on the material outside of their lessons. So I decided to put it together and put it here on YouTube in hopes that some other people would find it useful. Certainly you want to hear the piece played well, but that's kind of an easy thing to demonstrate. What we really want to do is give you some good ideas about how to practice. And so that's how I've arranged this collection of videos, as a way of demonstrating good practice techniques. So here's what you're going to find. When we practice this, we're going to do it at very slow tempos to begin with. We're going to start with very small segments, phrases, and actually even sub-phrases or fragments. And then very gradually, we're going to put those together into larger pieces, larger sections, and gradually go at faster and faster speeds. One other aspect of the practice material is we very often will start at the end. Meaning, let's say we're going to work on measures 1 through 5. I'd start with measure 5 as the target, and then we would go backwards to start at measure 4 and then go through measure 5, and so on until we had the whole section. And there's a lot of reasons this kind of practice works, and we don't need to get into all of them right now, but just suffice it to say that part of our job when we practice is to do the correct thing over and over again. Right? Get repetitions of successful run-throughs. So if we start with the end of the passage and we learn that, then when we back up and continue through that end of the passage, we're doing that part correctly because we've already worked on it. We've already trained ourselves to do it correctly. There's nothing really new about these practice techniques. There's nothing unique about this. Experienced music educators spend their entire lives telling their students these principles over and over and over again. Go slower, work on smaller sections, do more repetitions. That being said, even though it's simple to describe, a student needs an experience of doing that. They need to walk through the process multiple times with the guidance of an instructor to really get the hang of how to practice. That's important because once they know how to practice, then a student can do anything. So that's what we have here. This is my guiding you through the practice of these 32 bars. Let me tell you specifically what you'll find in these videos. We're going to take the 32 bars and we're going to break them up into 8-bar sections. And so the first 4 videos are going to be the 8 bars, the 4 sections of 8 bars that comprise this etude. And they're all going to be played at 60% speed. And in fact, at that stage, you're not going to just have the 8 bars played straight through. What I'm going to do is give you a little fragment and another fragment. Each one of those will repeat. Then we'll put them together into a phrase. That will repeat 4 times. Then we'll put a couple of phrases together. Maybe we'll have a 4-bar section. We'll repeat that 4 times. We'll do that with another 4 bars until we get to the point where we can play through the 8 bars slowly and steadily. So the first 4 videos do that for each of the 4 8-bar sections, and it does that at 60% speed. The next set of 4 videos will basically be the same thing, except it's going to be at 75% speed. There won't be as much broken down into the sub-phrase fragment level. It'll probably be more just the phrases, but then those will combine into 4-bar sections and into 8-bar sections. After that, there's 2 videos at the 85% speed level. Now at that point, there's no need to focus so much on 8 bars at a time. So these videos tackle 16 bars at a time, or in other words, the first half of the piece and the second half of the piece. Now once you can do that, you're really close to being able to play it. The last final section consists of a couple of videos. The first one is speed ramps, where back to back, it'll go 75% speed, 85% speed, 100% speed. It'll do that for the first half, it'll do that for the second half, and then it will do it for the entire piece. And it'll also include the backing tracks. So that'll have some of my performances, but then also just bare backing tracks at those tempos. And then finally, there will be a video that demonstrates the whole thing for real at 100% speed. First, the performance of it, and then simply the backing track of it. And that's it. Now, it might seem daunting. You might be thinking, well, gosh, 14 videos, this is a couple of hours of work. And it is daunting, it is a lot of steps. That's why it helps to have it all organized in a playlist so you can just go right through the various steps and not have to worry about what to practice really. That being said though, it's not really that tedious. In fact, it's the easy way to do it. It's the fast way to do it. Because if you start slow and if you're doing it correctly and you're doing a sufficient number of repetitions, you're actually going to be learning it as quickly as possible. So enjoy, because this is fun to do. Guitar is fun to play. This is a good piece of music. And when you get done with it all, not only will you have a successful audition, but you'll be a better player, and you should have a better idea about how to practice and how to tackle larger projects like this.